In this continuing dialogue between seeker and diviner excerpted from the upcoming book, The Post-Religious African, Unhacking the Divinity of Colonized Minds, the African seeker learns about the misrepresentation of his African ancestors as pagans. Seeker: what does it mean to be a pagan? Diviner: in religious circles, to be called a pagan is a derogatory label used to ostracize anyone who does not subscribe to a prevailing belief system, or someone who subscribes to a belief system different from what is considered the mainstream belief. Such labels have been used to justify aggression against targeted populations under the pretext of spreading the preferred religion. No effort is made to acknowledge the heritage of pagans or to understand the historical context of the spiritual traditions of the pagan. The default assumption is that the pagan is inferior, therefore their spirituality must not have any validity. This is an imperialist tactic, used to justify the military invasion of someone else's territory, with the practical objective of acquiring their resources and ultimately colonizing the indigenous people. Seeker: what you are saying is that the colonizers that came to Africa from Europe chose to label my ancestors as pagans as an excuse to disregard the spirituality and historical contexts of the African traditions that they met. Diviner: precisely. Your Yoruba ancestors were not pagans, they were scientists and philosophers who had awareness of phenomena both in the physical and the spiritual realms. Your ancestors were aware of the coexistence of both the beings that you can see and touch, and those that you can neither see nor touch. They communed with and celebrated both the seen and the unseen. It was your colonizers and your enslavers that made you believe that these interactions were worship of gods. The Ṣango celebrant does not confuse Ṣango with Olodumare. The Aya celebrant does not confuse Aya with Olodumare, and so on. Your colonizers overlaid their own pagan traditions on the awareness of your ancestors, and labeled your ancestors' celebration as worship of pagan gods. To your ancestors, Olodumare was the representation of the universe and its manifestations. Olodumare was what your ancestors associated with the Grand Organic Divinity, which spans the entire extent of the universe and all that it contains. Your colonizers did not bother to seek in-depth understanding of your spiritual traditions. They often attempt to rewrite your story in ways that conform to their own presumptions. The preceding has been an excerpt from the upcoming book, The Post-Religious African, Unhacking the Divinity of Colonized Minds. Please like, subscribe and share this as widely as possible to encourage the author to release more excerpts ahead of the release of the print and ebook editions of the book. You may also communicate directly with the author at thepostreligiousafrican@gmail.com.